Alright guys, welcome back to the channel. American Truth here. In the wake of this thing, we have to watch what we are saying. But in the wake of this thing, we have a lot of people out there who are conspiracy theorists. And again, it's not a story, fabrication, lie. It's a theory. It's not proven. Including myself, who believe that this entire thing is going to go way further than we could ever imagine. So, in today's video, we are going to talk about Anthony Fauci sets the stage for a mandatory lucrative vaccine. And we're going to talk about that right after this.
Because I am hard, you will not like me. But the more you hate me, the more you will learn. I am hard, but I am fair.
Now, I know a lot of you people out there support vaccines, and you know what? If it works, it works. I'm not for it, I'm not against it. I say it's your own choice if you decide you want to go get a vaccine. There are many reasons to not trust vaccines for sure, as I have previous videos from executives and doctors at Merck saying that there are cancer-causing properties in these vaccines. So for some people, they would prefer just to kind of weigh out their chances of getting polio or TB versus getting some kind of horrible life-threatening cancer, right? So in this article, this guy is setting the stage for a mandatory vaccine. And as I had stated before, that this is all a part of Agenda 21. We have got to start controlling people. We have got to start moving people from rural areas and off-grid. We have got to start getting people into a more contained area. And we have got to start getting rid of people who are not willing to comply, such as me. So, moving into this, let me make this bigger for you. Can I get rid of this? No, apparently not. All right, so let me make sure that looks good. All right. Anthony Fauci, America's most listened to medical professional on the CV, and apparently on all the political, economic, cultural, and social precautions every man, woman, and child in the nation should take on the CV, just as warned what cooler-headed CV watchers have suspected all along. And I've told you this as well, that this country is not going to go back to normal. We may not see this, gigantic movement of people into fucking FEMA camps and all this stuff in our lifetime. But trust me, it's coming, okay? Never that is, Fauci suggested, until a vaccine is developed, and by logical extension, that's to say, never until a vaccine is developed that must be included on the required list of shots for children to attend school. Well, that's where they're going to start. You say, well, I'll homeschool my child. Well, you can do that, but there'll probably be more requirements or things that get in your way to prevent you from doing such things. This is great news for Big Pharma, and that it is. They're going to make billions and billions and billions of dollars off of you. Okay? It's just the way it is. Also, what great news for Bill Gates, who just announced his foundation is going to spend billions of dollars to help factories. Just a moment. For 7 possible CV vaccine makers. Spend is probably the wrong word here. Invest is more like it. And that's right, because don't think for a second. Don't think for a second that Bill Gates will not have his hand in the penny bowl for one iota. I used to have mad respect for this man. I used to admire what he did with Microsoft and everything, but I'm starting to think he's this little devil troll that is a part of this whole big plan. Because, I mean, he's really pushing and has been for years, has stated that we're going to come up against this humongous problem. And you know what I'm talking about. And whatever. A vaccine would be okay. Okay, like today, the flu shot. You have every ability to say yes or no. You can go get one or you choose not to. No one is forcing you to go get one. If they left it at that, I would be okay with it. Because I'm not getting one. Are you nuts? I am not going to have anyone putting any type of chemicals or chip or anything like that in my hand. It's not happening. It's not happening. You're going to have to kill me. All right. So after all, Gates, first and foremost, is a businessman. A billionaire businessman. Who made his money? Yeah, we know. All right. For the taste of how he's already served humanity, one need only look to the disastrous Common Core, one-size-fits-all, top-down education plan that his foundation bankrolled. Right. From education to vaccines, the service to humanity never ends. In theory, outside looking in, he is doing good work for people in third world countries. He's doing good work for a lot of people who are less fortunate. But see, that's how the panther strikes. They look slethy and sleek and pretty, and as soon as you turn your back, they eat you. But this is what Fauci just warned at the White House briefing with reporters. When we get back to normal, we will go back to the point where we can function as a society. But if you want to get back to pre-CV, that might not ever happen in the sense that the threat is still there. You hear this? It may never happen because the threat is still there. Goes on to say, but I believe that with the therapies that will be coming online and the fact that I feel confident that over a period of time we will get a good vaccine, that we will never have to get back to where we are right now. No, we're not going to get back to where we are right now. We're going to get worse. And it's all outlined in Agenda 21. Every bit of it. You just got to go in there and look. You may not want to because it's, 700 pages. No one says you got to read it overnight. But start looking at YouTube. Start opening your mind to other possibilities. Stop trusting the government so much to just take on the lead. Right? Because you're getting a $1,200 check, possibly another one, you're okay with that. But trust me, that money's going to run out in 30 minutes or less because your dumbass is broke. Just like my dumbass. He also said, if back to normal means acting like there never was a CV problem, I don't think that's going to happen until we do have a situation where you can completely protect the population. And that's what he's going for. He's going for that, and that sounds good. But it's also going to mean you're going to have a lot of people resisting it. You're going to have a lot of people saying, I'm not taking it. And what are they going to do to force you to take it? Right? This, as the dire, dark, deathly numbers that set America into CV panic in the first place, were just revised downward. What else do we have? Okay. This, as Gates the guy who has been the face of warning about the nightmare scenario of the CV outbreak, just said the predicted death toll may not be as high as well predicted. Yes, viruses are, after all, seasonal. Not always. You telling me you only get cancer in the wintertime? Whatever. Uh, what else? The lack of widespread systematic testing in most countries is the main source of discrepancies in death rates internationally, the BBC reported. Here's another thing. What do doctors consider a CV death? Let's talk about that. What if somebody's in a nursing home and they have a terminal illness of any kind, and they do or they don't catch CV, but the CV is known in that nursing home? Who's to say that the coroner or the medical examiner or the attending physician is not going to say, oh yeah, died of CV? How would you know? How would you know? If CV is already in the nursing home, how would you know whether or not that person had it? You wouldn't. So some of these numbers could be fake and altered to make it look worse than it is. I'm telling you now, out here in the streets of Florida, and I know we have supposedly have 17,000 cases, it's not bothering anybody. They're out there like nobody has done nothing wrong. They're shopping, they're going to gas stations, they're buying lottery tickets, they're drinking beer, they're going to restaurants and picking up their takeout. They're doing everything as if life was normal. The only thing they're not doing is going to the mall, and that's because it's closed. But trust me, if retail establishments were open, they'd be in there too. Okay, let's see. In the UK, health officials give daily counts of deaths of those who tested positive, but who might have actually died from other medical conditions. In the United States, doctor discretion reigns. Right, so I just said that. In the U.S., doctor discretion reigns. In other words, the doctor can say they had it. In the U.S., doctors are asked to record whether the patient dies as a result of this illness when reporting that deaths to the Center of Disease Control and Prevention. Right? Well, all they got to do is say, yeah. CDC is not going to ask for proof. So we just said that. So some patients may have underlying conditions that led to death, others may not. Some hospitals may have policies that mandate the UK model to chalk up any patient who died with the CV to be reported to the CDC as a CV fatality. Other hospitals may let the doctor determine. It's a toss-up, hardly fact-based. Right. So somebody's got cancer, they got MS, they got whatever, and they're in a nursing home, and that is truly how they died, but now we're saying they died from CV? Right. And for all this, America may never see a return to pre-CV normalcy. No, you will not. We're focused on fear, correct. We should be focused on this, the money trail, correct. That's where it's going. It's nothing other than that. It's all about money. How can we deploy the troops? How can we spend money on bombs and weapons and ammo? And how can we get people into a paranoid state? How can we get people to fear just enough to they're going to listen to us? And when we say, come on home, we got a new spot for you, nice and safe. Free vaccines. We're going to put you in this camp. All is going to be good. There was a pastor I was watching on YouTube. Let me see his name. Pastor Dowell. You know, he said the same thing. He doesn't want to take the virus or the vaccine because he doesn't know what they're putting in him. He talks a lot about scripture, which, again, I'm not a religious man, but you know what? It's starting to make a lot more sense. You know, we have a lot of stuff going on, and people are dim to it. Now, he talked about minorities being scooped up and being put into these camps, and I don't think it's just minorities. I think what it's going to be is the people that are less resistant or have not gotten sick. Those are going to be the people that they're going to put in the camps because they have the stronger immune systems. The ones that have died obviously are not going to the camps. The ones that are sick or have recovered probably won't. They'll be forced into the vaccine. But out of 7.6 billion people, they got to reduce that down to a controllable number. And this is all the way, has been the plan. It may not be this CV, but it's going to be something like it. And trust me, when summer gets here and things start looking good and we start emerging from our homes, come winter, we're going to be right back in it. Or with something else. Let's see. The WHO, UNICEF, National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Disease, and Bill and Gates Melinda Foundation have announced a collaboration to increase coordination across the international vaccine community and create a global vaccine action plan. The collaboration follows the 2010 in January call by Bill and Melinda Gates for the next 10 years to be the decade of vaccines. It's a structured campaign to include a leadership council, a steering committee, an international advisory committee, and other bureaucratic so forths and so ons. But here's an interesting link. The leadership council is comprised of those two idiots. The same guy who just set the stage for the dire need for a protective CV vaccine has vested interest in seeing this vaccine come to fruition. Where did this person get their degree? Come to widely administered fruition. Vaccines are miracles. What else? Okay, and that's it. That's it for that. I'll put the link to the article in the description because we kind of skimmed through a lot of it. But guys, don't think for a second that this is all innocent and the government's going to help you. They're buying you off with stimulus checks. They're buying you off with grants and loans. They're buying you off with promises of all kinds of stuff. And they're doing that to calm your nerves. The real hit has not even come yet. And I'm going to say this again. You need to read Agenda 21. Because if you don't, then you're no better than anybody else. You're not even willing to try and look and see what could potentially happen. You think all this just came up out of nowhere? Somebody reached in their ass and they pulled out a pandemic? I don't think so. I don't think so. No. Guys, you need to do some more research. But anyway, that's all I got for this one. Stay safe and stay sane out there.
Bullshit, I can't hear you. Sound off like you got a pair.